anyway, so with the popularity of Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Donny's some of his solo pieces and everything like that, he became somewhat popular. But when he expressed to Atlantic that he wasn't interested in just being a duet with Roberta, I think they got a little attitude or something. So they kind of put him on hold in terms of his career.
So that was a turn, that was a fly in the ointment to them, right? At this point, right?
So now, so some time had went by, and it was like, well, hey, what y'all gonna do? I mean, Donny said, hey, I want to get back into recording. So they told him, okay, listen, I want you to come to New York. We're gonna put down some tracks and see what happens with that. So now this was in with 79. Donny went to New York, and they laid a couple of tracks, and they said, well, that's okay. We'll get back to that. In the meantime, we got something we want you to put your voice on with Roberta. So Donny was like, oh man, see, you got me up here thinking that you were going to resume my solo career. And as it turned out, we're just going back to the Roberta Flack thing. So anyway, it was a song called Blue Lights in the Basement.
Oh yeah.
And he recorded that with Roberta. And then he went to her apartment where she was living in the same building where the Beatle, John Lennon.
John, okay.
Right, the Dakota, I think the name of the building is. So he went there. I don't know what happened, anything. He left there, came back to the Essex Hotel, came in the door, went right to the window, sat in the window. Now, Donny was a big guy. Sat in the window, and I believe, that he just leaned back, and it wasn't no retrieving himself after he leaned back out of that window. So the next minute I hear they had found his body on the rooftop of the Essex Hotel lobby, and he had ruptured his spinal cord, and he was dead. So a lot of people were very hurt about that. So that was the end of Donny Hathaway, the person. However, thank God to the fact that his daughter, Layla Hathaway, and Kenya and stuff like that, they continued, and a lot of other different people who had covered a lot of his music, especially this Christmas. This Christmas was covered by several people,
That's one of the ones I wanted to talk to you about in particular, because you guys co-wrote that and co-published that through your publishing company. We won't get into some of the issues that me and I talked off camera about. However, there are some things that are glaring right now that aren't very popular, but needs to be addressed. We won't talk about that today, but here's one of the things I do want to talk about. You mentioned several times the name Feel Up Church, and Feel Up Church in my head, I think of Can't Sit Down, the first tune I ever heard by him in the early 60s, Can't Sit Down.
That was his first hit as a youngster, as a kid, that instrumental, Can't Sit Down, right.
Yeah, He's about 3 years older than me, which makes him probably somewhere around 74 right now. But the guy is phenomenal. And the thing about it is, he's played on a lot of major records with various types. He did a lot of work with Quincy, Rufus, you name him, he's been there. He's all over the place. Now, you and I found out that I was posting some music on one of my pages, and I didn't know this, but you mentioned the brother Washington that you went to Howard with.
Tyrone from Newark, New
Tyrone
Jersey.
Washington, exactly. He used to play with. He's from Chicago, right?
No, he's from Newark, New Jersey.
New Jersey, but he went to Howard and he played with. Well, I first heard him with Horace Silver in the late '60s.
Well, when he left Howard, that's who he joined, Horace Silver. You know.
Oh, okay, because he was in there before Benny Maupin
to play at the Bohemian Caverns Jazz Club with Horace Silver.
Oh, okay. Now, Rick, you are also a well-established musician. Who are some of the other people that you play with that we haven't mentioned today? That you forgot to maybe mention, because I know you're kind of a modest dude. So, who are some of the other heavyweights you've worked with, or written music for, or played with?
Well, I had an opportunity to work with George Benson, in Boston at a club up there called Estelle's. I work with the staple singers, and unfortunately now Mavis is the only one that's still living. All the rest of the members are deceased. And Carla Thomas with Stax Records, I recorded with her, and the Dells. I did some reissues of some of the older stuff that they did, Stay in My Corner, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
On Chess. So I'm on Ramsey Lewis's Maiden Voyage album. I'm playing on that. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Which Ramsey?
Ramsey Lewis.
Which one?
I'm playing percussion on the album was called Maiden Voyage.
Yes. Did that come on after? Was that after Mother's Nature Finest or something like that? The one he did with all the Beatle tunes. 69, maybe 68.
I think.
Maiden Voyage.
Yeah. That probably was. He was on Cadet label too, which was.
Oh, okay. He was still with Cadet, what you're talking about, and therefore that would have been like either after or before Barefoot Sunday Blues. Barefoot Sunday Blues was that was with Red Holt and those guys. Still was with him then, and that came out early 60 or 59, 61, somewhere in there.
Well, no, this was after L.D. Young and Red Holt had left the group.
Then that would have been after 67, so it was around 68.
And Maurice White was playing drums, and Cleveland Eaton.
The bassist, and he just passed about a year or so ago, right?
Yes. Yeah, he went back to Alabama.
Hey, let me ask Val, get in here. Val, you have a couple questions you want to ask him, because Val is from Chicago as well, Rick, and Val is also a singer, and he sings, and he also portrays Sam Cooke in our production of The Awakening. So Val, ask any questions you'd like to ask Rick.
Well, I growing up in Chicago, I think in the early 70s, hang all the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. That was the thing. So that's actually how I became very familiar with what Donny was doing. Now, but right after that, there was some talk, and I always wanted to get this straight. I wanted to have it confirmed or straightened out, because I didn't hear the difference. But a lot of people were saying at the time that Donny's style was so great, and everyone loved that style so much that one of our favorite singers decided to use it, to borrow it. Speaking about none other than Stevie Wonder, and there was supposed to have been some type of rift that developed, and some annoyance on the part of Donny Hathaway. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Well, as the saying goes, often imitated but never duplicated. Okay.
Right.
So there were a few people that try to pick up, but Donny, his style of singing a lot came from James Cleveland. Okay, he liked James Cleveland. And his piano playing, I guess that was his own. So yeah. I mean, in fact, sometimes we would record it Donny, he outplayed himself on the piano because he was. I mean, a lot of people say, "Hey, the boy plays piano better than he sings." You know what I mean? Because he was, But we did an album with Jerry Butler called "You and Me." Okay, the Beatle tune, and Donny wrote all the arrangements, and Donny had the French horns and everything and the screaming and everything, and Jerry said, "Hold on, man. Boy, I can't get with that." So Donny had to tone it down a little bit, you know. But
what was wrong with it?
Huh?
What was
Too
wrong
busy?
with it?
Listen, Donny wanted everything that he arranged. He wanted to make it to a masterpiece. Okay.